Today, I'm going to be sharing some print-on-demand tips and strategies that I see a lot of people doing or recommending other people do that you should not be doing and should definitely stop if you want your business to continue to grow into the future and especially in 2023. Some of these tips and strategies may have worked for a time, but they just do not serve you anymore. Some of this is just flat out bad advice that you may have heard that you should definitely not be doing in your business if you do want to succeed and make a lot of sales. I'm Hannah, and on my channel I share all about print on demand and making passive income. So if that is something you're interested in, I would love it if you would subscribe down below and give this video a like. It really helps out my channel. Now let's get on to those outdated tips. This first tip is one that I continue to hear a few gurus telling other people they should be doing, and that is copying the descriptions and titles of best-selling products. Not only is this super frustrating for the person who went to the trouble of writing that description and title and then someone just copy and pastes it on their own listing, it actually is not even going to help you if you want to make sales. Some of those items are best sellers and they are already ranking high in searches when people are looking for those specific keywords. So if you are trying to compete in those same niches, having the exact same description as someone who is already getting a bunch of sales is not going to serve you because there is nothing to differentiate your two listings. So when someone searches up those keywords that you're trying to compete on, they are probably going to end up buying the one that has already been validated with sales and purchase the first one that they see. So if you want even a chance to stand out, I think it serves you more to actually write your own descriptions and titles and try to improve on what has been working for other people instead of just copying something that someone else is trying. You want to do something better and new. I actually have an entire video of how I go about creating my descriptions and title for all of my print-on-demand products, so you can take a look at that here. And it just is going to show you how you can really fill your description full of a bunch of really impactful keywords without being spammy and without just taking it from somebody else. If you are doing this, I would definitely just at least take a look at those descriptions you've maybe copied and try and change and improve a few things. The next piece of print-on-demand advice that I think is super outdated at this point is that you should be buying packs of pre-made t-shirt designs. I know this is super appealing if you are just a beginning designer and you want to fill your shop with a bunch of things as quick as possible. But there are two reasons that I think you should stay away from buying these packs of pre-made t-shirt designs. The first one is that if someone is selling just a bunch of vectors or SVG files, you are probably not the only one who has bought this and had the idea to upload these to your print-on-demand shop. So if you post one design, likely there's 10 or 20 other people with the exact same one, so it gives you no chance to stand out. And the next reason I think that you should never be doing this is because a lot of times these stores on Etsy or some other sites are taking best-selling designs that people have already created and ripping them off of their products and packaging them and selling them as their own, when in reality, those are from someone else. A lot of times you'll even see in the Etsy listing for these bundles that it says you can use it for print on demand. Sometimes that is just completely made up, and if the original seller ever sees that one of their designs you have posted, even if you didn't know it was not safe for resale, you could risk having your account terminated and you definitely will have to delete that listing. I've had this happen more times to me than I can count. I'll just randomly be scrolling on Etsy and I'll see a bundle of t-shirt designs, and there are a few of my t-shirts right there being sold to other people. So it's super frustrating, and it's just a waste of time for you if you end up buying one of those and then you have to take out all those listings in the end anyways. A better strategy, I think, is using a site like All Sunsets or Creative Fabrica that is going to provide you graphics that you can use, but you in turn take those graphics and add your own text and other elements to it to make it completely your own. So you don't have to completely make all of your graphics from scratch, but you shouldn't just be taking completely pre-made t-shirt designs, throwing them on a shirt and calling it a day without making any changes. The next piece of outdated print-on-demand advice that I think you should stop doing, especially if you are a new seller, is pricing your items at $0 profit to be able to make your first sales. I completely understand where this is coming from. You want to incentivize your buyers to make purchases from you, and especially if you're in something like Merch by Amazon where you are trying to tier up, those first 10 and 25 sales are super important to get really fast. So it really doesn't matter to you if you make profit or not. The way that this backfires is sometimes if you are pricing your items at the bottom of the barrel, it is going to scare potential customers away because either the number seems a little bit off or it's just so much lower than all the other products in that niche, and that scares them away. People are used to paying about a standard price range for shirts and sweatshirts, and if anything deviates too far away from that, you could risk not getting a sale. So I don't think as a newbie you should be pricing your items as high as you possibly can, but I would take a look at a lot of the other shirts that are selling well and try to stay in that middle range to make sales. This is also great too because even if you are just getting started and making a few sales a month, wouldn't you rather make some profit from those than absolutely none at all? A little over a year ago, I started pricing all of my standard shirts on Merch by Amazon at a flat $19.99 across the board, and I haven't seen any decrease in sales. In fact, I've seen my sales continue to climb and climb every single month. So I really think that you don't need to start by pricing your items really low and then change them to a higher price once you've made sales. This strategy is something that a lot of people tried to be able to do the lowest price so that when people sorted products by lowest to highest, yours would become the top of the page in sorting it that way. However, now so many people know about this secret trick, and so there's 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of items that are all priced with no profit. So you aren't even going to stand out that way, and you might as well make some profit. The next mistake that I see a lot of print-on-demand sellers doing and a lot of people recommending is trying to let organic traffic do all of the work in your print-on-demand business. Gone are the days, I think, when you could just post a bunch of listings and you are going to get a bunch of sales and traffic right away. It's a lot more complicated to play this game in some ways. And while you can build a successful business with no social media following or not a lot of outside traffic, I think in those early stages of starting your business, being able to give your listings a little boost with some outside traffic helps a ton. So in both Etsy and Amazon, once your product has made a sale, it is going to actually start to rank on those first pages, depending on what the niche is. But if you've never had a sale before, it doesn't even have a bestseller rank, so it is not going to show up really early in search. So sometimes if you can help by bringing traffic either from your own social media or creating a specific brand page for your print-on-demand items, and you can just help Amazon or Etsy make that first sale, that item is going to start ranking organically now that it has made the first sale, and you're going to start getting a lot more of that organic traffic and sales. This has worked super well for me where I will push an item on one of my social media pages that I've created for some of my brands. And once I get that first sale from someone that I knew came from Instagram, that item all of a sudden starts selling super well on Etsy, and I'm getting all these organic views and traffic because I made that first sale. Once again, this isn't a complete must, but a lot of people get super discouraged in the early stages of their business because they expect that all of this traffic is just going to come to them without them doing anything. But if you really want to start seeing momentum, I definitely suggest trying to get some additional eyes and traffic on your listings and help Etsy and Amazon make those first sales. The next piece of outdated print-on-demand advice that I still continue to hear people say is that you should let Etsy and Amazon just automatically control all of your advertising campaigns. If in your business you've started to dabble into the world of advertising, it's super tempting when you don't know what you're doing to just put your listings on automatic and have Amazon do all of the work. But you'll see pretty soon that Amazon and Etsy really quickly spend all of your money that you have for that campaign. It's really easy to find yourself using up all of your money and spending it on these keywords that aren't really going to convert into sales because they don't have anything to do with your listing. So I think it is super important to manually run and monitor all of your campaigns. This doesn't mean that you can't have any automatic campaigns, but I think you need to be very conscientious of how much you are going to be bidding per click on those advertising campaigns. I do have quite a few automatic campaigns on Amazon, but all of those I intentionally set my click bidding price no more than 25 cents, and I usually don't make my daily budget more than $1 or $2 when I'm first getting started with that campaign. That way I can really manage and see how this is performing, and I don't have to worry about Amazon spending $10 and not even getting one sale because they are just bidding as much money as I will let them on a random thing. In some ways, Amazon and Etsy, they really do want you to succeed with your ads, but they also aren't going to hesitate from spending as much ad money as you will let them because this is becoming more revenue for them. So you want to be really conscious in either monitoring what specific keywords you're going to bid on or just making your bids very, very low and slightly increasing those as you see that they're working. Because if you give Amazon and Etsy $10 or $20 a day to work with, they probably are going to spend all of your money, and that doesn't guarantee that you are going to get results. So just be more conscious, and if you aren't sure where to start, my first advice would be just lower those advertising bids that you have. If you are just starting out in print on demand and you are still just trying to make those first 100 sales that, in my opinion, are really going to make or break your business, this can be super frustrating. So I actually want you guys to watch this video next where I am going to break down all of my best strategies for getting your first 100 sales in print on demand when you are just getting started. So take a look at that, and I will see you in my next video.